Yo, people! So I'm feeling chuffed because I finally found the evidence I needed to do this video. So let's get straight into it. I believe that Keith Flint from the Prodigy is ex-E17 member and fake truther YouTuber Brian Harvey. And there he is. And if you haven't seen the video I've just done on this, I'll put it on the link at the end of this. And he's another character, at least one other character. They play many, many characters, but I know he's in fact at least another character, and I'll talk about that in this video. And there they are, looking very, very similar there. I tried to find the most similar photos, and if you can see, you know, all that really minus is there from Brian Harvey is that Keith Flint has darker eyes, and that Keith Flint often wears eyeliner. But even with the hair there, I mean, you know, they are looking so similar. So there's Keith Flint doing the 666 hand symbolism. Blatantly part of it, they all are. And there's Brian Harvey doing the Masonic claw hand symbolism, so we know he's part of it. We know he's a Mason. There it is. Are you a Mason? Masonic claw. A few other famous people, should we say, from history doing the Masonic claw. Masonic finger to the head. There it is there. So we know that Brian Harvey is a Freemason. So there's a picture of Keith Flint there. And Brian Harvey looking very, very similar. And there he is, Keith Flint again, looking even more similar, exactly the same haircut. And if we put them together there, you can see, as I said before, Brian Harvey's got blue eyes, Keith Flint's got dark eyes. Keith Flint often wears mascara or eyeliner, whatever it is he wears, that makes him look a little bit different. So let's look at some links. So obviously the story was that Keith Flint had supposedly committed suicide. But we know that's nonsense. They don't die, they just change characters. So Keith Flint supposedly hung himself, and Brian Harvey has admitted he wanted to commit suicide, and famously on one of his lives was threatened by the police with a taser and had a noose and was threatening to hang himself, all just acting. So I done a video on Liam Howlett and Robbie Williams being the same person. Liam Howlett from the Prodigy. Go and check that video out if you've not seen it. Which obviously links a Prodigy member and a boy band member. So this is Keith Flint with Gail Porter, who he famously went out with in the 90s. Gail Porter was a television presenter, and that's her there. Back in the 90s, Brian Harvey famously went out with Daniela Westbrook. Notice the height differences between the two. Same height difference as Keith Flint and Gail Porter. And this is Daniela Westbrook. And if we put Daniela Westbrook and Gail Porter together there, you can see how similar they look. I mean, really. Apart from the makeup of Daniela Westbrook, they look so similar there. Maybe her nose has been changed, but they are looking very, very similar. So there's Keith Flint on the left. Keith was known to be small. And there's Brian Harvey, second left. And Brian Harvey is known to be small. So there's Keith Flint with the girl that he was seeing before he died. And there is Brian Harvey with a girl that he was seeing. Notice the height difference. She's taller than him. And there is the girl that Keith Flint was seeing, taller than him. And I suggest they are the same person. So I saw this a while back, but I really needed the evidence. And I couldn't find the evidence I needed to prove that Keith Flint and Brian Harvey were the same person. But I saw it and I was just waiting on the evidence. And the evidence and the link that I needed, as so often is the case, is another character involved. And that was when I realised that Brian Harvey was also the actor John Alford, who was famously known in the UK for Robbie Wright in the 1980s school TV programme Grange Hill. And there he is there as his character, Robbie Wright. And there's Robbie with a hat on, looking very much like Brian Harvey with a hat on. Now, this is the link that I needed that linked it all together nicely. So, John Alford played a firefighter in the show London's Burning. And as I showed on the previous video, there's a random link, it's the kind of thing I leave. Brian Harvey, fireman at London Fire Brigade. And then, of course, Keith Flint famously sang the song by the Prodigy called The Fire Starter, which blatantly links up his John Alford character as a fireman and Keith Flint as a fire starter. That is duality. They love their duality and they love to link their characters up. And then, as a further link, from angelic schoolboy to twisted fire starter. That's right, they said angelic schoolboy to twisted fire starter. It's just hilarious. So then we have John Alford guilty on drugs charges for possessing and supplying cocaine. Brian Harvey was accused, but got away with it, but accused of possessing and supplying cocaine, which links them. And Brian Harvey has famously been accused by his supposed ex, Daniela Westbrook, of being psychotic and doing cocaine. And Keith Flint, when he died, was supposedly found with drugs in his body, including cocaine, which is all nicely linked up by the Prodigy song, Charlie.
Charlie says, always tell your mummy before you go off somewhere.
And that was the Prodigy Charlie, obviously, which famously sampled a child protection video from the 80s. And this is it here. And for those of you who don't know and are not from the UK, Charlie is the name that people call cocaine. And when the Prodigy released this song, it was an in-joke that it was talking about cocaine. So this is Brian Harvey on his YouTube channel, some video. I didn't watch much of it, I didn't need to, because this woman here, Nikki, his friend, or I don't know if his girlfriend at the moment, I don't know, I really don't care. But she does stuff with him, and that is blatantly also Daniela Westbrook. And there's Daniela there, and if we put them two together there, I mean, that is blatantly the same person, 100%. And for those of you that don't know about this and are new into this and don't believe that these people are royal actors, take a look at what is on Nikki's phone. She's telling you there because they tell you what is going on, a royal crown, blatantly telling you that she and Brian Harvey are royal actors, and that is why the royal colour of purple was on an E17 single, and that is why Brian Harvey is pictured with Big Brother one eye symbolism and a purple background. Which brings me nicely full circle to prove without a shadow of a doubt that Keith Flint of the Prodigy and Brian Harvey of E17 and fake truther YouTuber are blatantly the same person, because the whole world is a stage and they are all just actors. Time to wake up, people. Peace!